It's the Adam Friedland show now. Bigger, better, more Semitic, more lib.
Yep.
International.
Center
we got
left.
Simon Pegg on.
Yeah.
Very sort of British comedy, more intellectual.
Yeah.
I guess that's
Yeah.
what we're leaning into.
Yeah.
We're gonna have like, have you seen these cheeky photos of Harvey Weinstein's penis?
Yeah.
And then it's like satire, you know. It's more.
Yeah.
It speaks to society because
It's
what
like-
is his penis anyways?
It's like mobile phones.
It's
like we're
mobile. It's
addicted.
about mobile phones. It's about his penis.
Yeah, yeah.
And in a lot of ways, it's about society.
That's
when you
right.
combine the two of them.
Kind of like
Penis.
that kind of
That's
vibe.
kind of like
It's good evolution.
what Simon Pegg does. It's
Yeah.
that kind of
It's a
stuff.
good evolution.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
big picture.
Simon Pegg is coming on the show.
Yeah,
You guarantee it.
yeah.
I don't know. We
100%.
found it.
Lock down Simon
We
Pegg
got-
now.
Man, when you was in school, did people call you Seaman Pig?
Yeah. That'd be a
Was
good
that your
question.
nickname? Did
Yeah.
people call you? They call
That'd
you
be a good
little
question.
Seaman Pig slut boy in your elementary school days, or whatever they call it over there in
They
Jolly
never
Old.
pursued. So if the girl's like, we have to date now, I'm like, all right. We
Yeah,
gotta
I hear what
date.
you're saying. Yeah.
But a black
Makes
chick was
sense.
never like, hey, call me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You never got called.
Yeah, but I've banged a few, and that was great and terrifying, but never dated. What do
Yeah.
you talk about? Cosby?
He's married to a black lady.
What?
Yeah, married to a
This
black
is
What's
his
that
second
like?
black wedding.
Second black?
Yeah.
Marriage.
What?
I'm trying to add the extra word every time Norman says black.
lady.
Tell me everything.
It's chill, dude. Again, love of anime. Share it. You just watch anime. You just chill. And,
Yeah, autistic white dudes and black ladies
Yeah,
should
we
unite.
sync up. We sync up. Well, apparently, I'm just gonna tap into my autism. Apparently, Chinese men or Asian men. I got to stop using Chinese as an all-inclusive for Asian people.
Sure.
But Asian
Wait,
men.
what are you, Chinese or something?
I still have that really bad.
It's just an Indian guy.
Oh.
This Chinaman.
Yeah, apparently Asian men and black women are the least likely to date outside of their race,
Yeah, for
and their
sure.
counterparts are they're like highly likely to date outside.
Yeah,
of
of
their
course.
Like,
So they get left single a lot.
is that why black women get so mad about the white girl, black guy?
Oh, they hate it.
They hate it.
They hate it. White chicks kind of don't like very low key or they'll get a little if you get.
You think?
Oh, I know. I've got cornered a couple times. Like,
Really?
"Oh, you like black women? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They do the same thing.
I
It's in their blood. Girls are the same. They're all the same.
Good point.
They're
good
all the
point.
same. They all do it.
Right.
They're
but
all
the-
very racist. Girls are all very incredibly racist.
Yeah.
And they like to stick together. They like to girls are like, we should stick with our
But
kind.
then girls hate girls too.
Exactly. They hate yeah, true. They hate
Yeah. So that's tough.
everybody.
Girls are full of hate.
They're crabs in a
They're
bucket.
crabs, dude. Yeah. Well, they're all the same.
Bucket.
They're all Agent Smiths. They meet each other and they're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the fuck do you think you're fucking better than me?
Right.
But yeah, no, it's chill, dude. It's chill. The cool thing, I would say,
They are dog brains.
huh?
You ever bring a dog? You know,
Yeah.
it's dog brains,
It's
dude. You
DBs.
bring them to. They're like, no, they're good. I can bring them to the party.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, they're like sniffing, and it's like, no. It's like, oh fuck, they spazzed. Like 2 hours in, they spazzed.
Or they just get into a lunch meat tray. Like, whoa, come on.
They started getting into the trash, start devouring a pizza when everyone leaves.
Basically, every company that advertises on a podcast is like
scam.
it's always two like mongoloid
Except for
brothers
Blue
that
Chew.
fucking somehow like they're like, yeah, we started a business selling fidget spinners. Now we make $50 million a year.
Selling kratom.
Yeah.
What do you like better, the booty or the pussy?
The pussy, bro. The pussy.
The pussy?
All day long, the pussy.
Yeah, the pussy's so good.
I'm not
dude.
into that, dude. I'm not into that. The pussy's so... Yo, will you guys fucking knock it off?
Yeah,
Being serious
shut up
here.
over there.
Being serious
The
here,
pussy,
dude.
when you, as soon the first time you slide into the pussy?
You remember the first time you slid into some pussy?
Yes.
Were you wearing a condom or no?
No.
Lucky duck.
I did not wear condoms, bro. What do you
I
think
did
I'm
it first.
I never did, yeah.
I remember the first time I did without it and was like, what?
Yeah.
It
You're
was...
like, "Ooh."
If I did it first without one, I don't know if I'd have been able to.
The first time I slid into the pussy, I
Unprotected.
unprotected and I also chickened out.
What?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this.
What?
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know what happened, dude. I got cold dick. I got cold feet on that one.
You tasted...
I got
and then
into
went,
the pussy.
How?
Yeah.
How is it even possible?
I don't know. I think I was in like 8th grade.
Damn.
It was scary, dude.
It is scary. No, it is scary.
I was frightened.
I was protected.
And then I had the same girl like a week later. I got into the pussy in the
Got
tent,
in the pussy.
in a tent. So technically, I lost my virginity kind of before that.
I had a half.
Slight
I had a half
penetration.
virginity loose.
Yeah, what happened
I
with
was
yours?
too drunk.
Really?
I was rock fucking hard, dude. I was 17. I
and
was
you
a
just
little older.
couldn't jizz.
No, dude. I took a pee. I had a rock hard boner. I was making out. I was fucking
Yeah,
fingering, not inserting.
Letting it know what was coming.
Yeah, like what's up. I just
Yeah.
Googled the clitoris. I know what it is now. Let's go. So I'm pressing on that thing. I'm pushing that button, dude. I'm trying to get the elevator to ground floor, dude. Fucking like, let's go.
Yes.
And I had a rager, dude. I drank like 16 Bud Lights. My parents were out of town.
Whoa.
I was fucked up.
That's what I did last night, dude.
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah, I was partying hard as I could.
That's how you party.
Then I peed. Boner was gone. I had a pee boner. So I like mashed like half hard bird on like a hiking trail. We went down to the trail.
You were on a trail outside?
I was outside.
We both lost our virginity outside.
Sick. And we both had I half lost it on the trail.
Yes.
And then I was just like, mashing a fucking like half hard bird with a condom on.
Yeah.
And it was like, I give up. I tapped. And then the second time I went to some lady's house and we had sex. And I remember I timed myself.
You timed your sexual
Well, I didn't
intercourse?
like time it, but I like definitely like. Well, yeah, I guess I did time it. I looked at the clock before I
Yeah,
started.
yeah,
After
yeah.
I was like 7 minutes, not bad.
Yeah.
Every single time after that, I was like 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
That's pretty good.
I was like out of my body.
2
the first
minutes
time.
is great.
I mean, dude, you're talking to someone I got 7 minutes my first time.
True.
So I was like, dude, I'm gonna probably last for like half an hour pretty soon. Dude, it was only because I was like you were saying, I was so shook. I was like out of my body.
Yeah,
for
I was
most
scared,
of it.
dude. It was
I
so
like
spooky.
made myself.
People don't understand
Huh.
how scary the pussy is.
After I got used to it, dude, I would just be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I could. It
Hold
was
on,
crazy.
before we go,
Dude.
can
Yeah.
you tell us one debate, dude?
Yes.
I need to hear about.
I did a Lincoln Douglas
No, I
debate.
know, but give me a topic that you won.
We did one about No Child Left Behind. The Bush
and you were
administration's
pro?
education. No, you had to do both sides.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Come on,
that's
bro.
Lincoln
I don't
Douglas.
believe in anything, man.
True.
I'll
That's
be
the
anyone
debate
for
curse.
any. Dude, I'm on this show right now. I'm doing like anti-Chinese, anti-Semitic,
Yeah.
non-Jewish comedy.
This is just
That's not our
You
vibe.
find me on the.
You guys brought that evil vibe in
No,
here, dude.
I'm
No, we just we were trying to meet you, dude.
We actually have pivoted to more. We already did pivot to.
I
live.
wish you had told me. I wouldn't have showed up dropping. I wouldn't have said that stuff about sending black people back to Africa.
No, you said rewind history. You're talking about rewinding
I
colonialism.
was. I didn't get to make my whole point.
Yeah, you're talking about
fair.
Mayo
You said about hitting the rewind
colonialism.
on colonialism.
I,
dude.
exactly. I
which
feel
is
like
actually pretty progressive.
that could be taken out of
Extremely
context,
progressive.
It
you
could
know?
be taken out of context.
And I'll have to make a very long post on social media
Yeah.
that makes it worse. It was
Yep.
like, look,
No, you.
I only said sending them back to Africa to make a. I said we would do that as an apology to Native Americans. And if you listen to what I actually said, for once,
The context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important.
yeah, I'll clean it up. Don't worry. I'm really good at that kind of stuff. Getting out of controversies. They call me the Jew weasel of saying the N word.
Yeah.
That's my nickname. In
You're the
Hollywood.
Papa John's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they call me the
The
Jew
Teflon
weasel
Don.
of N word saying.
Yeah. No, we have. We're hiring.
You're just behind a black lady in one of those stores. They're just fucking
Everyone's
full,
getting the
full
fuck out of
sails
the
to the
way,
wind, dude. Full,
Right.
and you just follow right behind them. And you're like, oh hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Do you
It's tight.
ever? Sorry, do you ever get the like the guy? Because you look like you could hear an N word every now and then. Like a white guy could trust you to say it, and then you're like, oh, you know, my wife's
Yeah.
black.
Me and Matt are friends.
Oh, I've been in that situation before.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
tough.
I go home and I text her immediately. Be like, that's 3 today. That's 3.
True.
She's like, I'm so wet.
That's 3. Like that's the third one I've heard so far. And I go
Damn.
home and she lashes me.
Ah.
I take it all for everybody else. No, like a religious, like a cat o' nine tails. Like
Right.
not one of those. Yeah, I don't think of one of those. Just a cat o' nine tails.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, you know, you hear them and you just kind of you're like, all right, nice.
And you guys get to ask questions. Like I ask my black friends, like, what's up with this with black people?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, it's actually this. Like, what's with the no swimming? They're like, well, we just didn't grow up swimming. I'm like, huh? You know?
Yeah, it was funny. I was talking to Aunt Moore the other night, and I was like making fun of. I was like, "You guys!" It made me laugh so hard that him and Reggie both could not swim.
Yeah.
It made me laugh so hard just thinking of them like in a pool. Like,
It's a
so
major.
easy.
It's so
a
easy.
Major. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where like if you're little, you're still in that kind of magical phase of
Yeah,
your life.
where
As
everything-
soon as you're adult, you're like, hold on, what?
It's
Yeah.
survival as an adult. For a kid, it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
It must be how they're like, why can't they dance?
true.
Like, what's wrong? Why are
Yeah.
you so stiff out there? I'm like, I just don't know how.
Yeah, then
I
grow
can't
up.
do it.
Well, I got the secret. My black wife unlocked the secret with me the other day.
Please.
You just as the drums hit, you just hit the drums, but with your feet, and you're just dancing, and it looks perfect, and you're in rhythm.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, dude. Well, just don't do that. Well, you also there's the other key too. So you can't have a tight spine. You got to hunch a little bit.
Hunch a little.
Hunch a little.
That's good.
Hunch a little and loosen, and then just look how good I look right now.
That is pretty good.
So much better. You're like
You look like bye. Dude. You look like one of the marionettes.
see a
good.
hunch.
You're a little Pocono.
Can't be tight.
Pocono.
I hit her. I have like I'm like you. We have like marine posture. I'm
Right.
I'm up. I'm high. But yeah, she's like hunch it out. It's fucking.
That's
Like
good.
juvenile. Just imagine a
Right.
huge chain you're showing a camera. You're like, okay. That's
By
how
the
I
way,
think.
Marines and gays, greatest posture. It's
True.
weird how it's got a lot of range.
Gay guys can well, it's like any girl dance. No girls can dance bad. Everyone's like, yeah.
No, my gal's a real robot.
Really?
Oh my god, she's a boner
Yeah.
out there.
Really?
Mine
Yeah.
too.
Really?
You know her. She can't dance.
Shit. Well,
Imagine her dancing.
Well, it's like girls can. There's no move a
The
girl.
last one could. The last one was
Really?
twerking and shit.
Yeah, it's so hot when a
Yeah.
girl can dance.
Yeah,
Blows
it's
my
pretty
mind.
tight. Well, there's no move that's kind of off. Like girls, I was at a wedding recently, and girls are just like, they'll be-
I don't like the. You don't. No.
Really?
Your girl's twerking.
That's good.
You're just sitting there. You're
Well,
like,
that's
what
weird.
the fuck are you doing,
You
lady?
gotta get behind her, dude, and just fucking.
No, I can't grind. Two whites
don't gotta
can't
go-
grind.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
No, we
You
cannot.
gotta stand totally still. Just
Matt,
get behind
please,
her.
you're speaking on an experience you don't
Sorry,
have.
Sorry.
You're speaking on my experience
No,
of
actually-
whites only
I'm
dating.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
WOD.
No, I apologize for that. That was insensitive.
Arranged marriage, they should just have arranged pussy. You know, where
It's
it's
a
like,
Jordan Peterson point.
yeah,
By the way,
they should actually, yeah,
It's like, you want to cut down on school shootings?
yeah, arranged
Yeah.
pussy.
arranged pussy.
Everyone gets to hit the number 20 in their life, but exactly 20,
That's
and
it.
that's decided
You
by
gotta
your
time it
parents early on in life.
Oh, so like they're gonna give you 20 lovers.
Yeah,
That's
And you
kinda
can
rough.
only fuck 20 times total? Or you just get 20 women?
20
just the 20
holes?
times. We'll start there.
20 times.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to save
Then
those. You
it's-
got to burn through
it's
those.
up to you to-
Blow it, dude. Just
It's up
blow
to
it
you to
in a
break the
week.
law outside of that, but you
Yeah,
know, yeah, 20 arranged fucks, and then I don't know what you do as far. What's Jordan Peterson's point? We'll repeat what he
I
actually
forget
thinks.
exactly what it was. I think it was like women need to stop being so fucking
Oh, he was
choosy.
talking about hypergamy or something from online dating gives women access to like the top 2% of dudes that like the dudes they desire. They have like a direct line into them.
Sick dick.
So then it ends with them just like dudes fuck all the chicks and like none of the dudes get access to pussy anymore.
And that's
'Cause now
why
they can just email Chads basically.
now they're
Yeah.
going to flip the bloody game.
They
They're
flip
just
the
going to
bloody
flip
game.
the game board
Flip
over.
the game
Yeah.
board.
If they
But
can't win, they're gonna
historically,
flip the
there's an
game.
answer to
now they want
that.
chaos. Now you're talking the Joker.
Exactly.
That's a myth.
No,
That's
exactly.
as old as time.
Here's
That's-
why he's-
That's
what he
Loki.
Here's
dude.
why he's wrong, because historically the answer is like you just find all the guys over 6 feet that look like models and you kill them.
True.
You just kill all of the fucking chads.
Yeah.
That's the answer. It's not doing a podcast where you're like, we should all have a certain amount of pussy we're allocated by the government every year. You just kill the top Tinder guys.
Those are going to be tough to get.
Yeah, you use-
you can kill those.
You
dudes pretty easy.
use
You
the,
can get them pretty
lure them.
good. Yeah.
you use
can-
the beta sigma males that are good at computers to hack the Tinder database,
Yeah.
find out who those guys are, and systematically eliminate.
show up and rape them.
Death by
So-
firing squad. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think we-
Because they were discriminated against. Like Italians were fucking gross back
Well,
then. Like,
yeah.
untouchable. Get
Yeah,
away
we need to
from
bring
me.
it back.
Yeah.
You got to get them under control, dude. They're out of control right now.
The Wasps?
Yeah, out of control.
Ever since Jersey Shore, dude, they think they've got the run of the
True.
mill.
They think their shit doesn't stink, dude.
And the mob.
That's because the whole country told them it didn't stink for some reason. Everyone was like, "Oh, I love Snooki."
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, they were kind of.
They were
laughing
kind of
at
a
them.
joke at first. Now they're all like millionaires that everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Let's watch the reunion." We love them because
Well,
it's the nostalgia type.
There's
Right.
a loophole apparently to the American dream where if you're like publicly retarded enough, you become a millionaire. Snooki, all the Real Housewives.
Yeah,
That's true.
It's a
Jake
little
Paul.
backdoor.
Right, right.
Backdoor. I might fight Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather?
Actually, I might get a piece of
I
that.
guess.
I'll take $20 million or whatever.
Yeah,
Just be like, just get knocked out.
that was
instantly.
that was the best part of the Buster Douglas doc when they were like, he was fighting Mike Tyson, and they were like, "There's got to be a better way to make $1 million." Like that's how bad he was. Like, dude, just getting knocked out by Tyson.
Damn.
All these poor black dudes in Ohio were like,
Don't do it.
just
man.
get a job. Just make $40,000 a year, dude. Don't do
It's
that.
not worth it, man.
Yeah,
Didn't he
Fuck.
beat him once?
he beat him.
Oh, he did beat him.
Yeah, it's
okay.
the best.
Whoa, I got
That's all I've been talking about. It's called 42
Buster
and 1.
beat
What's
Douglas.
this
Those are the
on?
odds. It's on ESPN. 30 for 30.
So
Oh,
Douglas
I'm
beat
in.
It's a
Tyson.
tear. I cry every time.
Whoa.
What?
It's awesome.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Said
Buster
makes
Douglas.
T.I. cry.
No, I cry every
Oh, I
time.
thought you said it
T.I.
makes
probably tears
He
up.
probably does. He's
Yeah.
like, oh damn, Shawty.
Oh, Shawty.
I thought you said it made T.I. cry. I was like, I could see him fucking the rubber band man breaking
The rubber
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know. Was that when Tyson was like partying and getting fucked up?
Yeah.
I hate the idea of Tyson losing, man. It bothers me.
Yeah, but to Buster Douglas, it was awesome. His mom just died. He was
Oh,
he was
right,
a perennial.
yeah.
Everybody was like, this guy's a loser. He never lived up to his potential. And in
Whoa.
one night, he put it together. He beat the best fighter in the world. There's a Tyson doc now on ABC, and they're like, he got
ABC.
Yeah, ABC ran it.
That's
And then here's the weird part, because he got accused and I think guilty of rape
Yes.
on a girl who was like doing Miss Black USA.
Right.
The wops are rowdy right now. And in the documentary, they're like bashing her. Like they
On ABC?
defend Tyson.
What were they saying?
Whoa, on ABC.
In the documentary, they're like, America was just so excited to see a black man go down. And like, maybe that's true. I don't know. But then there was another one with, what was his wife's name?
Robin Givens.
Robin Givens. Have you ever seen that fucking 60 Minutes he did or 2020?
No, what happened?
He did something with Barbara Walters. I think it's 2020.
Yeah.
And she was doing an interview with him because there had been like allegations of like him hitting her and all these like crazy breakdowns. Because obviously he grew up like basically homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had a horrible life.
And that's his fucking,
Yeah.
his go-to.
That's his default mode.
Yeah.
He's going to punch something.
Right.
And then, so he's in the middle of this interview with Barbara Walters. He's wearing like a sweater. He's being nice. Like, no, Robin, or not Robin. He's talking to Barbara. He's like, Barbara, I would never hit a woman. Like,
Yeah.
I love women. And, no, I would never do that. I shake her. Sometimes I shake her. And then Robin Givens comes in and sits down. Not invited. Sits down. And he's sitting like next to her, like staring at her. Like, oh, shit. And you can see he's got like the mind of like a child.
Right,
Like,
right.
this is fucked up.
Well, it's
She
kind of
sits
shitty.
down.
He's there trying to do like his damage control.
Yeah, and then she comes in, and Barbara Walters is like, "Does he hit you?" And she's like, "Yes."
Oh.
And living with him is hell, and like just buries him. And she's like, "I don't
What?
think anybody could live with this guy."
Damn.
And he's like, "Well, I don't." He's like the water boy. He's like,
Yeah.
"Well, I don't know about all that." Like, he's just like,
Mama
I mean-
told me you were the devil.
yeah, she was the devil.
She was.
But then in this documentary again, they trash Robin Givens, and it's like, or what if he was hitting her? And that was the most courageous thing humanly possible. She sat down on national television, was like, "This piece of shit's hitting me."
Wow.
True. There is that.
There's that side of it, but there's
flip
also,
side of the coin. Where
That's the one that no one is defending. Everyone
Sure.
was like, "Fuck Robin Givens."
really
Yes.
What? But he's hitting her.
potentially maybe we don't know that.
But that'd be great if he just got up and went.
Also,
"God."
time
Yeah,
out,
no.
time out. I'm gonna that could be an easy like neurological exam. Like, wait, you're telling me you're champing punches from the
True.
Iron Mike?
You're
You're
swallowing.
just coming
it.
on
Good
all
point,
like
good
he hits
point.
me all the time. She'd be like, oh, she'd be like, hey, yeah, he fucking.
Yeah.
She would be punch drunk.
Oh yeah, Holyfield.
No
you
way.
pussy.
She'd have fractured ribs.
Right. She's tiny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I mean, maybe he
Very
was
pretty.
like he said, he was shaking her.
I mean, that would have been a hell of a shake too.
I mean,
Tyson
dude.
in his prime, and you're in a mansion with him. And he's screaming at you.
Paint can.
Getting fired up for his fight. Also, I would say just on like a just relationship wise, of like the level
You're
of-
starting to agree with
of
Tyson.
being annoyed, the level of being annoyed by your girlfriend. And then like there's things girls can do that can annoy you, but imagine you're on national TV and she sits down like actually and you're like
Oh my god.
that's your eyes would bleed.
And then in your head, you know you could just kill the entire room with your bare hands. You could end it all.
dude, that would be brutal.
And I think he had like a suicide attempt.
Mm.
He was a sad guy.
Tyson,
Oh,
Tyson was fucked up.
He's a
Tyson
mess.
was fucked up.
Yeah, he just
And
like
then Don King comes in and just steals everything. Like
That guy's
it's just
evil.
crazy.
Pure evil.
yeah.
But it's a good doc.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a good
Tyson,
documentary.
I've seen like 5 Tyson docs.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
putting them out. They're
Yeah.
always sad. They're always so sad.
Yeah, he was
Look,
Those
dude,
brothers.
JFK.
Dude,
How about so Lee Harvey Oswald gets out of the Marines, gets sent, or he's still in the Marines. He gets shipped to what is it, Osaka, in Japan. You know this, dude. Come on.
yes.
He gets to Japan where they're doing the U-2 spy planes, fully CIA. And then he just leaves there. What the hell? And he goes to Moscow or something.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we talking about?
They're obsessed with the Ruskies, dude.
True.
It's been like this forever.
Yeah, but I was actually more. I was fascinated by the Dulles brothers. They don't teach you too much about the Dulles
Dude.
brothers in school.
So I watched this YouTube from this guy Steven Kinzer.
Yeah, I watched.
Did you watch that
I watched
guy's
the
speech?
C-SPAN interview with him.
Dude, those
The book he
interviews,
wrote.
those
Yeah.
interviews they do with the fucking all the ladies with white bowl cuts in the front row. I didn't know and those ladies get lit in the Q&A. They have fucking questions.
They
dude.
start asking questions.
Yeah, dude. They're
just asking questions.
They have serious fucking questions,
Saying,
man.
do you truly in your own?
Well, dude, so you watched the thing where the
I watched Kinzer talk about
where
the
the Dulles brothers came from?
Yeah.
Calvinist grandfather.
Yeah,
How their
freaks.
how their grandfather blasted across like the frontier and just like he was on his manifest destiny kick.
Yeah, he
Got
they
into
grew up
politics.
Freak Christians. In New York here.
Yeah.
And what's that place? Water something. Waterloo.
I don't know, but he was explaining the reason the Dulles brothers were the Dulles brothers, and the coolest story in the beginning when he looks for the bust. He goes, guys, the airport's named after the Dulles brothers. Where the fuck's the bust of the one Dulles brother? And everyone goes, what the fuck are you talking about? And it was hidden in a conference room near the baggage claim. And he goes, what an apt symbol for their place in American history. Covered over, pushed to the side.
I petitioned to change the Dulles Airport to the Fred Hampton Airport.
Did you?
Very sick. I'm going to start that petition.
You should.
Yes.
Fred Hampton Airport would be sick. This guy, what Kinzer was trying to do, he was trying to remember the painting, The Glorious Victory, Diego Rivera? Where they did that big mural of the United Fruit Company and the two Dulles brothers there and like the dead babies everywhere and like money falling out.
Yeah, he was trying to get that mural in the airport.
He was trying to get in the airport, but he was trying to find that mural. It was no longer in Mexico. Diego Rivera, communist, donated it to Russia. And then Russia were kind of like, yeah, he's like, they didn't really fuck with Latin America. They didn't fuck with Latinx communists, apparently.
Yeah.
Russia were like, those guys aren't real communists.
They don't understand.
So they just rolled his scroll up, and they were like, the big mural, they rolled it up, and they just keep it in the basement. And he wants to get that in the Dulles Airport.
That'd be sick
He wants
to
to
have
have
that in
that
the
big
airport.
mural of all the dead Guatemalan babies in the Dulles Airport.
I would like that.
And he shamelessly was like, maybe put a couple of my books right there if you want to buy them. It's like, you motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, he started. The first thing I watched with that guy, with Kinzer, was a C-SPAN interview, and he started like smiling and be like, well, let me tell you about the Dulles brothers. And I was like, this fucking pussy.
Yeah.
He's going to be pro-Dulles scum. Then
brutal.
he keeps going. No, he was very anti. It was
He
nice.
Okay,
crushes
thank
them.
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
Yeah, he crushes them. I mean, he gets into their like absolute psychology.
I think it's
about-
hard to look into them and be pro-Dulles.
They're
Well,
assholes.
His
Dudes literally suck and do nothing but destroy America.
Yeah, but exactly. His thing is these guys had no idea. None of them knew like the internet was coming out, so they had no clue that like they thought they could like go destabilize Guatemala and be like, that'll all get lost in a shuffle of It must have been so easy to pull the wool over people's eyes back then.
Yeah, I was talking to Spade about this. Like now you got the internet, it's kind of fucking people's heads up. Back then you just had to have a Walter Cronkite or someone just be like, this is the truth, and everyone believed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the thing about Guatemala we should touch on, Matt?
Yeah,
Let me tell you something. When you think about it, Bill, it makes my fucking mind spin. The fruit. What's it called? What's
United
the fruit
Fruit Co.
company? United Fruit Company was in Guatemala. Guatemala, I think it was their first Democratic elected guy. He comes in. He wants to give the land that the fruit company is not using to the people for the people.
Yeah.
It's revolutionary, and the Dulles brothers were working for Cromwell and whatever.
Sullivan
and Cromwell at the time, who represented the fruit company. And the fruit company was like, we don't want them to give this fucking land away. So then these freaks go in there and coup, dude. They cooed out.
Yeah, they adjusted into Iran. The same thing. They were working for Sullivan and Cromwell. Iran is like, we're nationalizing our oil, and they had to go back to the Schroeder Bank and go.
Tale as old as time.
They had to go, guys, we told you, we promised you, it's kind of our job to make sure countries don't step out of line. We lost this one. Guatemala did it. They went, well, fuck this. And then they both took office the next year.
Yeah.
Director of the CIA.
First thing they did
Department
was
of State.
destroy Iran, and then the second thing they did was come back and destroy Guatemala.
A 35-year civil war, Bill.
A lot of people got
35, yeah.
fucked up too
What?
in Guatemala. Like,
Yeah,
that was
dude.
fucked up.
Yeah, 35-year civil war.
I'm very pro Guatemala too. They're strong
Me too.
individuals.
You what?
You ever work with them?
Yeah.
The
Guatemalans are good bros.
I like them.
Yeah,
Guatemalans are good bros.
it's unfortunate what the goddamn Dulles did to them.
They're pretty bad boys.
Yeah.
But that was their whole thing, apparently. Their grandfather was like, you got to teach these motherfuckers, dude. Civilization's away. You got to take it to them at every fucking cost, dude. Or at any cost.
That does fire me up. I like that.
That's the shit they were on. So they were
Yeah.
like, yo, we'll get in there. Dude, two brothers who apparently were ideologically twins. They believed the exact same shit, were the head of the visible government and the head of the invisible government at the same time.
How about Alan Dulles and all his sexcapades?
He was a fucking people person, dude.
Goddamn sex.
That was the thing. Alan Dulles was life of the party.
Yeah.
So everyone would be like, people didn't even know what the CIA was doing. They were like, "Oh, that guy's kind of fun." Tons of affairs. He had sex with the Queen of Greece.
I didn't know
Apparently,
that.
he was
That's pretty sick.
sex with the Queen of Greece, and apparently he was.
This guy does have some positives.
He was way into James
Some
Bond.
cool news.
He was
likes James
going around
Bond.
like destabilizing Guatemala, like he had a
He
little tiny gun. He was like,
It's like, nice. I started another genocide in Indonesia. We've done it again, brother.
well, he used to write the author of James Bond all the time, Ian Fleming or whatever his name was. He would write him constantly, and he'd be like, apparently Fleming eventually put in a CIA guy that was supposedly based off Alan Dulles into the thing. So,
What a bunch of fucking jerks.
yeah, but apparently the dude was getting pumped, and he was petitioning the CIA to make James Bond weaponry, and they had to be like, dudes, this doesn't exist. It's a fantasy. Please stop. Please stop giving us James. We can't make you James Bond weapons. He'd be like,
A
shame.
lot of those guys were like drunk as balls too.
Yeah.
They're always drunk and
madmen.
always lying to each other.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
It's really
They're
fucked
fucking
up.
open mic comics. Just hammered lying to each other at
Like
all
those
times.
dudes were always talking shit on each other, destabilizing countries, and also were balls ass drunk.
Yeah. These guys were fucked up.
Now we're here.
Well, that's what they say. They say, whatchamacallit, that was the reason for Vietnam as well. Like Churchill and the French, whoever the French guy was.
Helicopters and heroin.
Well, apparently the Churchill and whoever was representing France were like, yeah, Ho Chi Minh is definitely, you can't fuck him up. And the fucking Dulles went, you guys are lame. Walked
they're
out
drunk.
on the convention. He was first time.
So you guys did it the European way.
Yep.
Wait till you see the American way. We're
Yep.
going to go fuck them up.
And apparently they say, you know, he was careful to be
Light
like, dude,
them
I
on
want to blame
fire.
everything bad in the world that happened. But he goes, it was the start of us being like, we got this. We're going to go in there. He's like, we could have potentially avoided the Vietnam War. Or
Yeah.
at all
Well,
costs.
that leads us straight to John F. Kennedy.
Yep.
Because he was trying to pull out, dude. You know this.
And he was being cool with the Russians. They
He was
were calling
being
him
cool with the
fucking
Russians.
communist.
He was starting to be cool with fucking Fidel.
Yeah.
He was being cool with Algeria. He was being cool.
He's real cool in Africa too.
Yeah. That's where Algeria is.
Nice.
Swag. Oh!
Oh, I've been reading that Napoleon book. I finally got to the part where that he gets a little nasty, dude.
Does he?
He got a little nasty down in Egypt.
Did he really?
He got a little nasty down the
What
Holy
did he
Land.
do down there?
Started fucking executing people.
Why?
So he's a nasty boy, dude.
Was he like, you guys didn't build the pyramids, aliens did.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, shot a fucking cannonball at it. It
They
was
looked
like,
the stones was sound.
yeah. He no, he had a pact with the boys. He captured them, he beat them, and they're in the Middle East at the time. It was like a tradition. You would just be like, all right, we'll never fight again.
Yeah.
Let us go. We're done. That's a deal.
Oh.
And then they came back and fought again. He was like, all right, well now I'm going to execute all you.
Oh, in the middle, he was following Middle Eastern customs. Like,
Yeah.
all right, he captured the flag and was
Capture
like,
the flag. Go. All right, everybody go home. We're not even going to take your arms.
damn, what if some guy was just throwing a rock at his wife and missed and hit Napoleon? That could have been the whole thing.
Fired him up. And then in Napoleon, he cucked one of his officers, dude.
What?
This is a rough one.
Down in Egypt?
Yeah.
Down in Club Egypt?
He was down in Club Egypt. it was ladies' night, dude. He found out Josephine was back home having a little tryst. He said,
okay.
He said, I can't get cucked.
Yeah, that's the only way you can stop a cuck is to cuck one of your friends, your best
And then
friends.
he cucked an officer. He said, he was like, you got to go back to France and tell him we're doing good.
Oh, he passed the bug along.
And then he sent the guy back to France. The guy got turned around by the British. They sent him back. He comes back. He finds his babe in the palace.
Oh no.
His wife. He's like, what are you doing in the pleasure palace?
Oh.
What the fuck?
That sucks.
That's so shitty.
That's funny. A British guy was like, turn around, go back.
Yeah.
Your wife is fucking Napoleon. Yeah, that's crazy. Dude, Europe fought forever. They just battled each other nonstop.
Yeah.
They got to take up arms against each other again. I need to see Britain just battle France.
They kind of are, but yeah.
Are they? Or are they
No,
doing
not England and France, but you know, Russia and Ukraine.
True. Yeah, true. No, I need to see the OG.
You want to see the originals. You want to see
Britain,
Germany get
France.
activated.
Yeah.
Germany got so activated, dude. What were they
They
doing?
got triggered. They got fucking triggered as hell.
What the fuck were they doing?
I have no idea. They
What
got
a
fucking,
bunch of fucking dickheads.
they spazzed. I mean, dude, they were pretty fucking dumb. Everyone was pretty dumb back then. The guy just fucking came up with a pretty cool story. He was like, check out these old ancient myths. You are these guys. And they're like,
And they're like, obviously, yes, I know. I knew I was a Viking.
yeah. Well, that was everyone's worldview back then was ethnocentric. Into the 1940s, it was I'm German. I live in Germany. German people are the best. Then you would shoot other guys and be like, "Yep, knew it," or you'd lose and be like,
That was
"We're the
bullshit.
best.
We just got ripped
tricked."
off.
Yeah,
What is those goddamn Jews? Somebody must have fucked us. There's no way we lost.
That was the organizing
It
principle.
was the refs, dude.
True. That was the organizing principle of like pretty much life. They're like, we're X. X is the best, and everyone fought each other, and we're like,
I don't know
this
if we're
is
above
bullshit. We're slowly getting out of it. Meaning, maybe never. Maybe we'll die and we'll blow up in a big bomb. But
that. Yeah.
we could all blow up in a big bomb.
We're not that far away from World War II.
Yeah. True. Yeah, for real. There's a big. I read a lot about that. How the technology grows so much, but inside, sadly, we don't.
Yeah.
That's
Vietnam.
why I find now.
What the fuck happened? What happened?
Vietnam?
Yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was. Well, I said it was a weird narcotic state where it's been kind of a thing after World War II. It's gone now, but where we're like, no, we don't really fail. Everybody wants this because it works so well. Not just World War II, the Marshall Plan even worked because we're dealing with all these countries and suddenly they're coming back. By 1960s, 50s, Germany's even back. So we're like the benign guys that we control things, but everybody's kind of like getting their thing who wants to be on the team. And then, we didn't realize there was a whole undercurrent. So like the overcurrent is Europe, then the undercurrent is the colonies. So all the colonies were rebelling starting in the late 50s.
Oh, yeah.
From Africa to, South America. And, so there was that whole thing going on,
The vacay spots were popping
There was so
off.
much going on. Isn't it weird?
All the sandals.
The Sandals Resorts.
All the Sandals resorts where they've had it up to here.
Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
it was kind of a weird, it was an interesting time. if
I
you
can
really
see
think about it.
communism appealing to that.
Yeah.
You're down
Of
with people
You guys
course.
share the fucking daiquiris,
pissing
dude.
around the trees.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, like
so-
Cuba, look at Cuba with the whole mafia thing, and it was such an interesting thing where it was like, they letting all these capitalist things, and then they were like, no, and Castro came in, and you know what I mean? They, even though Cuba failed, they didn't like the corruption level that was going on. The same thing with South Vietnam.
Yeah. That was the thing. We propped up some fucking dumbass.
We propped up a dumbass.
And we would never get rid of it. And then as soon as you saw that part, we were watching it.
Yeah.
We propped up this dude who just immediately started persecuting the Buddhists.
Absolutely.
Started.
Yep.
His wife was a fucking monster who was like, good, I'm glad they're burning themselves.
Yes. His wife and his brother.
Yeah, they were just morons.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we couldn't back off because we were like, it's still better than communism.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ho Chi Minh was kind of fucking cool.
Right. He liked us at the beginning.
Yeah,
He
was
wasn't
like-
totally into this thing. And then
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. It's like
but he
assistant.
became,
It's like assistant manager
Now,
energy.
did you know a lot of guys that were in Vietnam?
I knew a few. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a kid doing the whole thing,
Yeah.
And I remember as a little kid, you'd watch, it was on the news every day at 5 and 6 o'clock, you'd see the footage from Vietnam. So it was like such a part. It wasn't like I was shocked because I wasn't from the generation before that. That was all I knew. I was 7, 8 years old, 9 years old. But I remember seeing footage of Vietnam all the time on TV and the news, and it was just a constant thing. And I remember one time in class, we were talking about Vietnam. This is probably 71, or maybe 70. And the teacher or the kids were going, yeah, Vietnam is bad. And this girl in our class starts screaming and crying because her brother got killed in Vietnam. And so I knew probably 3 guys, older guys, that didn't hang out with me, but I mean, I knew 3 guys that were Marines in Vietnam that got wounded, that came home, and they all had those cliche Marine personalities. I mean, Vietnam vet personality. The army jacket by themselves, the big beards when they're home, heavy drinker, heavy smoker, prone to outbursts, but still good guys. Like they were guys we like, they weren't like people hung out with them and talked to them, but they had that other side to them, partly from being in the war, partly from what they did, partly from what Vietnam did, and partly from their reaction when they came home. It wasn't like you walk around, people weren't going, thank you for your service either,
Yikes. That stinks.
Yeah, so I knew a few guys,
Yeah, that was the thing we were talking about. O'Connor brought this up. We were talking about last night. He's like,
Imagine today's fucking college student. Imagine
Jesus
being
Christ.
a dude who got drafted
Yeah.
and had to go live through fucking hell, and then you get home and one of these fuckers throws like a bag of piss at you and is like, "Baby killer."
Fuck you.
Like, yeah.
Right. Oh my God.
That's when I would join the Ohio National Guard and I would head down to Kent State and say, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But it was interesting that they all did have that personality.
Yeah.
Even the guys I knew, guy across the street, my friend's brother, was a Vietnam vet that didn't fight. He was a airplane mechanic, and even he was screwed up,
fucked up from it.
Yeah.
My uncle was a Marine, and he never talks about it ever. Like literally never talks about it. One night, he and I got drunk, and he opened up about it.
Really?
And it was wild. He saw a fucking Chinook get hit and just spun. Dudes flew everywhere. I mean, it was. Now my other uncle was in Vietnam, and he is a little more. He's a little more sociopath, like psycho. That's like, I killed a guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, "How was that?" And it was just me and him, and he goes, "It's fucking incredible." I was like, yo.
I told you I knew a guy who was a sniper, and he was saying, he's like, you get addicted to the feeling of killing people. And he's like, and he was a nice dude. He's like, I didn't have like ill will towards people, but he's like, I like would watch people eat dinner, and as soon as they finish, right in the head. He's like, by like the 12th one, he's like, you get like a god complex, and you're like, I'm ended. This is done.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you just watch people hang out.
The guy in Vietnam, I've told you this before. It was like a 90-degree trail, and you couldn't see around the corner. So he's walking one way. A Viet Cong was walking up the path. He said they literally bumped into each other in the jungle, and then it was just a race to see who could get who could get their gun out faster, and he got his out.
Woo!
Jesus Christ!
Now he's still. I mean, and then he got fucked up. He got hit with a rocket propelled grenade. He blew. His nipples missing. His calves off. Yeah, and he had to lay there because they're in the middle of a firefight. He had to lay there for 3 hours on the jungle floor, like, I'm dead. I'm dying for sure. Yeah. I mean, he's a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, and is it that different from war? Like, my father was in Korea and Korean and war, and he said the most disturbing part was, which is still chilling, that the lieutenants or the officers would nightly bring in the Korean prisoners and beat the living shit out of them, and always like, "Hey, Brooklyn, you want a piece?" And he's like, "No, thanks." And they would just like just torture the guys, just beat them for fun. So it was already starting to lose the the
glamour of World War II.
And then, but Vietnam is a different. Like, I feel like this setup, even though it happened in World War II, it happens in every war. The setup of search and destroy is what fucked them all up. Because here you are, you grow up in the 50s, you're watching these movies, you have a little bit, even if you're not innocent, you know you're capable of, but you're still, and then suddenly you're in the middle of this thing where they go, no, you have to burn all these Hamlets, because like I said, the Hamlet program, the Vietnamese took over the Hamlets. So they go, and the Vietnamese are in there. And whether they are or not, they're in enough where you're like, okay, it's them or me. And so you're torturing all these peasants out of their house, torching their village,
burning their fucking.
That's the strategy.
How long did they do that for?
That's our strategy.
How long did they do that
the whole
for?
time?
The whole entire
from
time. They just went there to burn
1963.
villages down?
Yeah.
From 1963.
Jesus Christ.
And they said even, that's what Morley Safer was, the guy from 60 Minutes. I always thought, this fucking annoying guy, But meanwhile, he was a reporter, and they filmed in 1965 torching of a Hamlet. 1965, early in the war. And that's when everyone started protesting the Vietnam War. Because they watched on TV, they're like, wait, this is like liberating France. What's going on here? It was just all these peasants running, they're torching the house and shooting the pigs. Like, that was on the national news.
Jesus
on the evening news.
That's what you were watching?
Well, I don't remember that, but I'm saying, but people shocked the whole country. That's when the protest began.
Because we were the good guys. We were always the good guys.
But
we were always the good guys.
We were showing it like, check us out. Never like, boo, or like, fuck.
No, the news was like, hey,
this is crazy.
That's because the news was doing their fucking job.
True, yeah.
And they're like, here's what's actually happening.
No, right. They just shot. And Morley Safer had to leave. Like, they were threatening him because they were saying he took it out of context. He didn't, which he probably
he took
did
it
too.
Out of context.
Well, I'm saying they weren't saying that they'd been getting shot, like Marines had gotten shot from that village.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm saying it wasn't like, it's not just us evil and everybody else is good either. But I mean,
No,
it
they were
still
bad.
was a stupid strategy. You
But
know?
see, this is what happened. And it was
Yeah.
crazy because the French had just done it before us.
Yes.
Failed.
So they did this thing called pacification where they were like,
Right.
they tried to do the social set. Like they were like, we're going to help build your rice paddies up. We're going to give you food. We're going to build schools. And during the day it worked. And then at night the Viet Cong would come in, take the food,
That's
take
right.
the fucking guns,
That's right.
hide guns in the villages, hide weapons,
Yes.
hide soldiers. So then during the day they'd come back and they'd just keep getting supplies and they'd do raids from the villages with the weapons and shit the French gave them.
Yeah.
And then so the French would come back and be like, we know you're harboring communists.
Oh Jesus.
And they would burn the fucking village down. And then we did that. We did the exact same thing.
And then under the thing of like, we don't want communism to spread, which is funny to be like, we don't want you want to be free, guys. Trust me. And you're like burning villages down. Like, trust me, this is
Well,
better.
and I think we did the same thing kind of in Afghanistan, right?
Mhm.
In Iraq, where it
Instilling
would be like,
democracy?
we're going to give you guys money, work with us. And then the Taliban comes in at night and there's like, puts a gun to their head and is like,
Well,
you
that's,
work with us.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the whole problem with everything, right?
Yeah.
If you go to some, if the cops go to a neighborhood bar, the only analogy I ever use and everything is a neighborhood bar. And but if they go to a neighborhood bar and go, listen, we want you guys to do a couple of troublemakers in here, and the troublemakers are in there. Or they're outside waiting for these guys to leave.
yeah.
They're not there. They're only going to be there part. They know you're going.
Yeah.
You're not there to stay forever. So it
Yeah.
always ends up screwing you.
Yeah. And if we don't kill them at night, they're going to come get fucking beheaded.
Well,
by
isn't
the
that what happened in
communists.
Vietnam? I
Yeah.
mean, once they took over,
Exactly.
they Cambodia, all that stuff, they just destroyed. Genocide got rid of everybody that bugged them. And everybody with a pair of glasses. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
It's like
how'd you get those?
They literally went, well, just anybody who was so sort of
Yeah.
fancy themselves intellectual. It was like it's like the army came in and literally just rampaged through Bushwick, Williamsburg, and Greenpoint in the past 3 years.
Nice.
And just said,
Hey, I get
everybody
it.
here
I
who's
get it.
everybody here who's been to a show at a bookstore. Just line up.
Just burn the bookstores.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's the thing about that's why I never really got into Vietnam. I like the Civil War and World War II where it's like
Yeah.
it's kind of noble.
Right. It seems
And then
like
and then Vietnam is the first one that's like
well, it's so but even Korea was like a harbinger. It's all like
Korea,
so
yeah.
psychological, right?
Yeah.
And I had another uncle who fought in World War II and fought with Audie Murphy. Do you know who Audie Murphy was?
No, who's that?
He's the most famous World War II hero.
Okay.
Like they made him a movie star. He wasn't a good actor, but he was this legendary World War II. My uncle happened to be in his unit.
Oh wow.
And he said that all the hype, to show you the difference in the war, all the hype about him was true. He goes, this guy was the bravest. He goes, he was so crazy. He'd run right into battle.
Yeah.
They were at Anzio. They were at Battle of the Bulge. All these places. He goes, he would just run right into battle.
He's nuts.
and in those days, they'd celebrate. Now
Like,
in
man,
World War
that's a
II,
hero.
even any movie about Iraq, there's still an undertone of darkness. All the World War II movies, they're like, hey, there's no problem here.
Yeah. Kick their ass.
Yeah, like
that's
this guy's great. It had like a positive
Like
tone to it.
John Basilone.
What's
guy?
that?
He was in the Pacific. There's a rest stop in New Jersey, like one of the first rest stops. That's what he got out of it.
Oh,
He got the Medal of Honor.
That's awesome.
He fucking it's in the Pacific and like he goes wild, picks up his gun without the fucking
right.
heat pad, just mows down the jet, and then he goes home. So they put him on a USO tour
Yeah.
to sell fucking bonds,
Yeah.
and he's like, "No, I need to go back and fight."
Yeah.
So then he goes to Iwo Jima and is like, "I'm going to do that gun thing again,"
What?
and he died.
Oh no.
Yeah, he
Bust out the
died,
trick.
but he got yeah.
Yeah, boy. Like he
was
does
a-
a side choice. Yeah.
Yeah, he fucking.
Yeah, my
But
mom's
he got
cousin
a
did
rest
3
stop.
tours of Vietnam. He
Really?
did one, and he's like, sent me back. He did another, and he's
Whoa.
like, give me one more.
Who did it?
My mom's cousin.
Wow.
He
Did
did
3
He
tours?
did 2 more. He
3. Wow.
did 3. He was like, fuck it, I'm not going back. I'm gonna do it.
And what did he end up doing after the war?
I saw him like spazzing, fighting an arcade owner on the boardwalk one time.
That was Charlie.
Good man. He's a good
That was
man.
Charlie, dude.
Dude, he was.
but that's the whole point. Yeah.
He was with my mom the one time when they were younger, and he was sleeping in the car, and some guy like screamed something at my mom, and he like popped up and just got out and beat the shit out. They were in traffic on the highway.
Yeah.
He beat the shit out of the guy and throw him on the side of the road. And he's like, come on, let's go.
Imagine that guy. He sees a woman in a car. He's like, fuck you.
The guy
And
sits
the guy
up.
pops up.
Yeah, dude, just pops
That's a
up.
Vietnam
Fresh
vet.
from 3 tours. I think it was like 74. Just pops up like, what?
Can you imagine 3 tours? I mean, I mean, 2 tours is crazy, but at least you feel like during the second tour, the guy's like, fuck, what did I say yes to this?
Yeah.
But if you go for 3, that means you're like in all the way.
Yeah.
That's when I told the dude I was talking to, was my ex-father-in-law. I was telling him about my mom's cousin. He's like, oh, that guy just likes killing people.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe.
I mean, he probably just. There's also guys.
Everyone's got their thing.
You go there. True. You go there, and then you go home, and you're like, I can't be home after.
Yeah.
You're just in the fucking jungle.
Yeah.
Killing
Yes.
people. Now you got to go pretend to be a human.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like when you get off the road for a long time.
Yeah.
Say it happens to cops. It happens to cops to a lesser
Dinner
degree.
with a friend. What's that? Yeah.
It happens to cops too.
Yes.
They get addicted to that adrenalized state and they go home. They're like, this sucks.
Sure.
And they stay there forever.
And
Get fat.
but the other thing with Vietnam, which I've watched a lot of those YouTube guys where they interview, and you see the similarities in them eventually. And one of them is that they said they got screwed. First of all, just imagine this: supposed to be the country sending all this money for aid. Several of them said the sea rations were terrible. He goes, we looked at the date on some of them. They were Korean and World War II.
Yikes.
That's how old the sea rations were.
Jesus.
That they're giving to the troops at supposedly the richest time in our history. And the other one is the M14. They said the M16 got more guys killed when they switched to the M16 because Westmoreland wanted, or one of these guys it was like a vanity project. The M14 wouldn't jam in the mud. The M16 jammed, and they said guys would just be getting killed, bayoneted to death because it would jam and you couldn't unjam it.
Oh, fuck.
And they did, the M14 was, the early gun was better.
That sucks.
Yeah. America really fucked up. I don't like it.
But yeah,
The whole thing
was
bums
just
me out.
Yeah,
And then each president had an opportunity to fucking end it.
yeah, that's right.
And they all just keep fucking dragging it out.
But that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying about that
Yeah.
state. Kennedy,
Yeah. He was close to ending it.
he was, but he
Yeah.
wasn't.
Well, they
know what I mean?
made
Like-
sure he didn't.
And they said, and this guy Van was talking to Henry Cabot Lodge, who was the ambassador. All the guys who were close to Kennedy, and it was just one of those things where it's like, just at the last minute, it's like any other decision you've seen in any power person, where you're like, everybody has this logical argument, and then they go, no, I think this is better.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Why? You don't even give us a reason. And he never gave us a reason.
There was.
Was there any kind of economic advantage that was clear?
I don't think so.
Really? They didn't
I don't
even
think there was
make
any-
any. Yeah, I guess there was
No.
nothing really there.
I mean, there was
Babes,
rubber. No, there was
babes.
rubber.
Babes?
Yeah.
All the shit that was there was gone when we left.
True.
Yeah.
Rubber, coconuts, all the rice. It was all gone. I mean, we fucking killed it.
Damn, that sucks.
I mean, Agent Orange. I mean, when you think about it.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Agent Orange killing all the people. They said their levels of whatever dioxin were 3 times anybody else by the time we left. And all the troops. I mean, doing it to your own troops is just crazy. I mean, that's the height of like immorality, you know, to just
yeah.
the guys that are there fighting and you're just like, yeah, well, you know, it's like, no, they're the ones you have to really try to be a little more careful with, the opposite of what you're doing. It was really a weird situation, you know.
Also, the French were using napalm too.
They were before us?
Yeah, they were. We did everything they did.
Sounds like a French
the
word.
Exact
Napalm.
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what that is?
Yeah, that
Napalm's
fucking
just
was
gel.
Yeah, isn't it like petroleum gel and they light it on fire and you
Yeah.
spread it if you like touch it.
You
put
don't
water
have
on
to
it.
light it on fire. It just goes on your body. It burns.
Yeesh. And water makes it worse, right? Because if you take
Yes,
grease fire, put water on
right.
it, gets worse. Yeah, it stinks. And I mean, but France really wanted Vietnam, so
Well, they
loved
had them
it.
before that.
Yeah.
they wanted it back. I mean, they had it, they lost it. They're like, I think we can get this back.
They want their baby back.
Started
But
spreading
what
some
is-
fire on people.
Yeah. What is it about Vietnam that's so, because we apparently wanted it too. We went in there in the mid-50s and we couldn't leave. You ever go to a party and you're like, I got to leave. This party's over.
Oh yeah.
And it's like,
It's like, you know what? Yeah, I guess I will do some coke.
You're saying it was
guess
2
I will
a.m. It
live
was 2
here.
and you
a.m. in
end up going,
Vietnam.
if only I had left at 11 o'clock like I planned to. That's Vietnam.
This probably is just a psychological thing. It's like you want to be the best general. You start losing. You're like, fuck. We got
Yeah.
this. We got this. And it's like, no. We should have this. Hear me out. This is my passion project.
Yeah.
This is my baby.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. Everybody was just about, the military, like their job is to get more money for the military. How can you get more money if you're not in a war?
So how did what do you like? How does this thing progress? What do you?
Yeah.
How does it end? What's going on?
Vietnam?
Yeah.
I mean, look, it ended when we left. It was the most, it was really, they're lucky it was the mid 70s. It was like 75, that famous rooftop thing.
Saigon, yeah.
They're lucky because by then, everybody it was like the age of apathy when I was a teenager. People were just into drugs, dancing, and, it was just a very hedonistic time. People were done, all the protesting that happened in the 60s, people were done by the 70s. You know what I mean? And they're just like, yeah. And so when people left, there wasn't even outrage. It was like, oh, that was awkward.
That was a bummer.
That was just, people were just like, whoa.
Yeah,
It
Coke and
looked so
disco,
bad. And you feel bad for all the people that, all the Vietnamese that were still helping us by the end were fucked.
Yeah, like that
They got
famous
killed.
that helicopter on the roof.
The helicopter on the
That
roof.
picture. That's a long line.
Yeah.
And that's the last chopper.
That's right.
Those boys
Last
are
shot.
staying, and that's
That's
a
right.
fucking negative time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When that
they-
chopper takes off and you're like next in line, like fuck.
I've
Should've
had
got
that.
here
I've had a
5
similar
minutes
experience.
earlier.
I was at Longwood Gardens waiting for a shuttle to go see the shuttles. Like I was like the last guy. I had to wait like 15 more minutes. I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah,
I
I know that.
don't know what happened. It settled down. It's better now.
No, it's not.
That's not tearing. The damage is done.
Also, like, did romantic literature hit Japan? That was a European phenomenon.
Yeah, I wonder when that would have come in. We were talking about Hiroshima. Hiroshima's blowing up conservative X.
Really?
Yeah, it's a live
blowing
issue.
up again.
Yes,
What's
it's the third
happening?
explosion. Like Tucker went on Joe Rogan and was saying like the nuclear bomb was wrong, and now all the neocons are coming out going, no, it was good, it was nice, and that's the fault line. at the
It was
moment.
good and nice.
Yeah, it was. It saved more Japanese people than it killed.
I don't think.
They're saying, that was for the collective,
It's a tough
for the
one.
greater good. That is nuts. That is, if you think about the hubris to take that position where anyone can be like, I'm talking for the collective. It's like, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, all those
I'm
people-
dealing more numbers of like tens of million Japanese people 500 years ago. It's like, okay, dude. Yeah, you're right. You're the boss. You win. Like, shut up, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy to be like a big bomb that killed everybody. Is pretty nice.
Yeah, well, they're saying like, but think about all the other bad stuff that would have happened if we didn't bomb them. It's an insane, it's a nutso argument.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope.
The Hiroshima ratio, I think they called it. They tried to figure out how many people would die if they went in because the suicides were outrageous.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like every place that the U.S. soldiers went, people were killing
Committing
themselves.
suicide. So then
So
the
it's like,
bomb
let's-
was kind of like a guy with a noose, like, hold on, little buddy, I got you.
It's just short, sharp. It's a warning. It was a warning shot.
That's crazy.
That killed hundreds of thousands
But
of
like,
people.
dude, can you imagine you the Nanking? Can you imagine the karma you must feel like as a society
For Nanking?
Yeah, like raping and killing a bunch of Chinese people. So like when people start invading you, you're like, they're coming for me.
I don't know, man. I've been reading the Japanese textbooks. I don't think that happened. I think that's fake news. That's Korean propaganda.
Nanking was an inside job.
They don't, we don't. The rape is such a strong term.
Yeah, it is a harsh word.
The taking.
You're in Japanese PR.
The acquiring.
They took Korea.
Yeah. Yeah,
From
Japan.
behind.
Reappropriation by force in Korea. Yeah, the Koreans don't forgive them. Oh, man. All right. I was on the Wikipedia page for Indonesian-Japanese relations.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's a very politically, diplomatically worded. One of the opening paragraphs is like, the Japanese occupied Indonesia, killing huge numbers of people in what was a difficult time for both countries. Which is like, that's crazy.
Japan had just went through a breakup.
All right, the Indonesians had gotten rid of, or maybe they were like the Dutch were in charge, and then the Japanese came. But there was like an old Javanese prophecy that like white giants would rule for 300 years.
So that
and then
prophecy is pretty
yellow,
widespread, by the
yellow.
way.
It's what is it? Yellow small people is their term. Will rule for a very short amount of time. And so when the Japanese came, people in Indonesia were like, they was like partying on the streets that the prophecy was being fulfilled, and they would have independence. And then it was not good.
Oh.
Yeah, they immediately turned into indentured persons
Forever.
But I just love that thing of celebrating.
True.
The prophecy, and then they got their freedom. So maybe it did There are some great prophecies.
Yeah, and the festival must have been nice too. When they were like, "Yeah, this is a big party," then you get clamped down on, and there must be something kind of like a spiritual BDSM to be punished by a deity. You know what I mean?
It's the Book of Psalms.
Yeah, dude. Like I was just reading about the advent of Christianity, and like, yeah, the Jews got like crushed, dude, over and over, and they were like, "We're the best." They thought they had like God in a room. That was like the covenant. That little room in the highest part of the temple, and
then
I think
Jesus showed up, and they're like, "Oh fuck!"
What was the name? No, not even. This was like Jesus.
With what's it? Yeah, the other guy in the triumvirate goes in there.
Yeah, what the fuck was his name? I forget. It was like
I'm so embarrassed not to know. What's his name?
Augustus, maybe.
No,
Pompey. I think
Pompey.
it was Pompey. I think it was Pompey. I think Pompey rolled in.
Pompey rolled in and said, "There's nothing in here."
Yeah, but he was like, "This room's kind of cool though." And then they were like, "How the fuck did he get in here?" And then they had to be like, "We're fucked. We're fucked. We need to repent. We need to repent." It's crazy, dude.
It's big waves.
Yeah,
we're on top and we're on the bottom, which may be continuing to this day potentially.
But then
Pompey
got, I think, kind of fucked up pretty hard because they were like, "Dude, this guy." Because if you would start taking over large portions of the world, like if you'd see somebody doing that, every other religion would be like, "Fuck, I think their gods must be the one," and then they would get like shot in a boat and just burned alive. And like, yeah, my God still rules. That guy got destroyed.
Then Caesar became their champion, I think. And then they wept in the streets when Caesar was knifed.
I know I would.
Oh, man, Caesar was so great.
Yeah.
I'm pro Caesar.
Yeah, me too, dude.
Last time I was on here, I got in trouble because I was asked if I liked Franco. And I gave an over-the-top answer.
Yeah.
Don't love fascism. I think fascism is bad. I just want to say...
Yeah, true.
Brother, fascism is bad.
Straight.
Set the record straight. But Julius Caesar, so cool. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think
it's a long time ago. It's okay.
Yeah, time has to pass.
I don't even know what he did, but hey.
I don't know either.
He took Gaul. He won a civil war. He redistributed land for people.
That rules.
Oh yeah, he set up Galatia. Galatia had the ladyboys too.
Did it?
Yeah, they're like that was their like highest priests were just dudes who dressed like girls.
That does sound like the fanciest ladyboy, Galatian ladyboy.
They were the Gaulish. Yeah, they were the Gaulish people. I think it's modern day Turkey, but yeah, Turkey. Their original religion was ladyboys. There were these like lady bros that would walk through, and Rome was just kind of like.
Islam does sound like an improvement on the ladyboy religion. If that's the best you were doing on your own, then you would welcome the Arab horde.
Well, no, they were pillagers. The Galatians were just nonstop pillagers, and Rome came through, fucking piped them up big time. It was like knock it off, and then built them a bunch of cool shit. And the Galatians were like, "Yeah, we're basically Romans now." But that was like the last vestige of the religion was like the lady bros.
Which still in the
sounds like us.
In Afghanistan. Have you read about the Bakabazi?
You get the hottest little sweet boy, and if you're like a feudal warlord in like Afghanistan. Part of your status is like you grip up like a little sweet boy and make him dress like a girl, and he'll dance for you and all your bros.
And they got playing cards for them. And this is all right. So the Taliban were trying to stamp it out. This is what I read. And then they got a pro Bakabazi guy in as like the president under the Americans, and he had to go to the UN to give an address. And he had to. What I heard, he had to be talked out of bringing his dancing boy. And he was like, "But they won't respect me if I don't have the most supple boy." And he was like, "You will not be bringing the boy to New York City
anywhere without my squire."
It's true, but he's like, "How do you know you don't like it if you don't see my boy dance for you?" It is funny to be so plugged into your context. You're like, why can't I bring my hot young boys there? These are powerful men. This is what powerful men do.
They're going to have their boys there?
Yeah, true.
I'll be the only boyless man.
I'm going to look like a fucking idiot without my little boy.
Let me keep him in a hotel. Come on.
Yeah, man. He probably brought him too. It was just like, oh, look, I'll talk to him. Everything's cool.
Just wait out
Say
here.
you're my son. Say you're my incredible makeup dancing son.
Traveling from Afghanistan.
They love that here in America. Made up dancing son.
Yeah, they'll give you a Bud Light deal.
It's funny having just like Mitch McConnell be like, what? No. Tell him to, no.
Bringing your little boy in a cat carrier from Afghanistan. Put him in the overhead compartment.
This is my, what's it? Emotional support board.
Yeah, my emotional support.
Bro, you would have seen the Peloton ride I took. I do 2000s jams. I'm like, oh, this would be nice. I'm thinking I'm going to get like, I don't know, whatever the fuck they were playing back then. Some cool Smash Mouth. Yeah, dude, you think I'm going to get some like cool stuff? I go on. The guy's like, all right, Peloton gang, let's go. And I was like, all right. He starts playing Lady Gaga, and I'm like, I think this is a gay guy. I think this guy's in danger of 80 years. But I was like, pretty much all guys are kind of gay now, so maybe not. And then it's like, and then all of a sudden, riding the Peloton, and the song comes on. He goes,
Oh,
I was like, oh my god, this guy is for
why
sure.
do they dance?
Dude, this guy.
Every Peloton, other than Alex Toussaint. Thank you, bro.
Yo, there's another
They
guy. I have to
all
remember
dance.
this other guy's name. He fucking rules. No. Alex Toussaint's
The
this black
girls
dude.
dance. There's one girl with an afro, light skinned chick. She's hot,
Yeah,
but she's not a good dancer at all.
dude. Well, it's hard
And
to dance
she'll-
on a bike. First
yeah,
of all,
yeah, true.
except for Toussaint gets it.
I
Toussaint
gave her
can get it.
Toussaint.
I'm not saying get it, pause. Toussaint gets it
He
on
does
the bike.
that. He's like, we're gonna move up to 2 and 3, 2.
Oh yeah, whips. When they, dude, I gotta remember that there's a white guy he does the Eminem artist series. He's the funniest fucking
You say he's
dude.
breaking down lyrics,
Dude, he breaks down lyrics. I did his other one. That's just
dude.
he does these other rock rides. I did a 45-minute ride with him. And he'll start talking. He'll be like, "It's pretty much full circle. Circle's complete. Let's ride." And he'll like, dude, it makes no. It's so. But
Hey, Peloton family,
he's so funny.
lock in. Let's ride,
Dude. At the end of the workout, the end of the one workout, he goes, he's like, "Hey gang, be careful." Or he goes, "Guys, be good. And if you can't be good, be careful."
My name's Dennis. Be good out there. If you can't be good, be careful.
But dude, so this guy,
dude. Half the time, and that's with Toussaint. Even that's the only guy I could do. Anytime I tried that chick with the fro, and I literally while I'm running, I'm like, this sucks,
dude. I'm gonna give you the guy I
She'll
took.
be like,
Dude, the guy I took was
so
this was
fucking
another
annoying.
level. This was another level, dude.
Yeah.
It was like he goes on, he's just like, we're sitting out of nowhere. I'm like, I don't know. It's hard to tell if guys are gay anymore. And I'm like sitting there and he goes, "Just so you know, I did Gaga, Beyonce, Gaga, Beyonce." And I was like, oh, this guy's
It's
gay
definitely
as hell. This guy's
Definitely
so gay. So I'm like, all right, fair enough. Dude, admittedly, I just want to get back to my normal guy.
Yeah.
I was trying to exit.
Yeah, you got to exit, bro.
I couldn't get out.
It's hard to
and I
exit
didn't want
those
to. I was
fucking
like, I'm already making fucking progress. I'm tearing up these hills. It was like right off the bat, and I'm like, it wasn't the fact that it bothered me. He was gay. It was the music selection sucked so
Music
bad.
selection's
It
unbelievable.
was fucking Gaga, and the music's a big part.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
you need the vibe, dude.
Dude, I need the vibe. He all of us out of nowhere, he would just be like. He would do choreographed dance moves. I'm like, dude, it's 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, stop.
Ooh, okay.
It's so
Stop.
bad.
It was so funny. And then he would just be like, I'm like zoning out. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden he's like, "Yeah, I just said something about Jamie Lynn Spears. I promised I wouldn't, but I did anyway. Let's ride, Peloton." Turn it off.
Questions on your Britney shirts on, your pink Britney shirts if you're in the Legends of Fun. We won't talk about that now, but I'm just, where I'm getting at with, let's say it. Butthole lipstick. It wasn't a cute look. It wasn't a cute look.
I'm like, why is this 40-year-old man being so mean to Britney Spears?
Why is he a bitch about Jamie Lynn? Sorry, I'm being a bitch. Lock in, Peloton.
He was such a bitch. He was being such a bitch.
Let's go, family.
Dude, he was such a bad boy. He was a gay bad boy. And it was just killing me all morning. Dude, I'm trying to fucking I'm trying to break my PR.
Yeah, it bothers me when the girls are like, I got to push it the hardest. I always push so hard. It's like, dude, we're doing a fucking spin class.
Yeah, can we stop?
Shut the fuck
Can
up.
we stop?
You're doing
Although-
this so you can get a fat ass to get banged.
Although my heart rate, I've been pushing my
Knock
heart
it
rate.
off.
I've been pushing my heart rate to
Yeah.
the max on that thing, dude. My Apple Watch almost exploded, dude.
Really?
It was
Short
like,
circuited.
It was like, dude, what?
Too much
you
to
crazy?
compute. The gay
100
chart.
137 heart rate.
This is
slow
how
it down.
gay you were last week.
Dude, this guy, he kept going in. Finally, he switched. It was Beyonce and Britney Spears, and then it switched to it was Beyonce and Lady Gaga. Then it went to Britney Spears and Madonna. He was going back to back doing them, and
Yeah.
dude, every
you
time
got hit exit, dude.
I couldn't get out of it. And by then
Sure,
I was
bro.
bought.
You're like one of those. You go to a gay bar and you're like, "What? It's fun. I like
the music
oh,
here."
Sorry, I get free drinks.
Dude. I was also number 3rd in the leaderboard. I'd never been up that high. So I was just meeting. I was like, "This is a secret. I'm just battling gay guys who I thought would just be slaying me."
You would expect that.
It was 2 ladies. I was
You smoked those ladies.
It was the tiers were whoever was below me, and me and 2 people were in our own tier. I was the top of that, and there was 2
You're
50
tier 1
ladies.
operator.
I was tier 2. There's 2 ladies who they were like 60 resistance the whole time, just slaying me. I mean, you put on the Gaga for the 60-year-old ladies.
It's over.
They were killing it. But dude, at one point he was like, "I'm just saying, if Britney Spears is on Oprah, which she should do, that would be amazing. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it would be a juicy scoop. Let's ride."
What
I
the
was sitting there
fuck?
like, what the fuck, man?
What is this? Send me this guy, dude.
Dude, I'll sit.
Yo, just for research purposes. I don't care about that stuff, but I wouldn't mind hearing about a juicy scoop while I'm out of breath. Like,
dude, it was all hills. Is that the workout? It was a good workout. It was all hills. Almost broke my.
Getting your ass ready for dick, dude. Got to strengthen that fucking haunch.
Just to squeeze it in. Dude, true. If I did that every day, dude, I might be seeking juicy scoops, dude.
That's what I'd be doing on the Peloton. I was like, what the hell is going on? You can't get hard on a Peloton. Then, dude, I stand up, you stand up, you lean forward a little, dick's gone. You got a nub. There's just a thick dick gay dude dancing in front of you. You got a nub, you're dancing to fucking beat my lover, wanna be my love.
Dude, literally it'd just be. Anyway, Peloton fam, turn it. It was just like,
we're gonna crank this thing up. You thought I was gonna take it easy on you this week? Peloton fam, you gotta work.
Push to your limit.
I love my Peloton fam though.
Oh, dude, I'm the only one giving out high fives, dude.
Yeah, they don't like it.
No one's giving. I'm high fiving.
Well, you're probably. Are you high fiving people here now or just the leaderboard?
Here now.
All right, nice.
Here now, yeah, I'm doing here now, and I'm doing it like all my people.
You hit high fives hard.
I do. I go hard.
High fives are fun.
We do.
I didn't know you could FaceTime. We FaceTime.
Yeah, but it's echoey. We got to figure out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But yeah, FaceTiming on the Peloton's fun. I always get paranoid they can just see my face all the time, just laughing.
It's somewhere the Chinese deep state is putting together a nice montage of me lifting my shirt while on the Peloton to wipe my face. And just a fat gut and tits.
Mine was just me like
that's gonna be worse.
I was just mocking my gay instructor the whole time, like
I'm not gay at all.
Turn my resistance. Let me stand up.
Do you ever try to do the dance when Alex Toussaint tells you to do the rock forward?
I've tried to I try to sync my knees to the rhythm at least. That's a good one to get going. Fucking sync to the beat.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that was shocking this morning of just like turning on, being like, all right, they'll be playing. I was like thinking they're gonna play like 90s alternative stuff.
Yeah.
It was just fucking Beyonce and Lady Gaga.